Hobie-doo, it's everyone's favorite boomer and vintage lens enthusiast. And today we're going to revisit, after a long time, Canon zoom lens FD 24 to 35 millimeter 1 to 3.5 L. L means luxury, or it's a special Canon. Everything's top notch on it. I bought this a long time ago in excellent condition. I see junky ones are going for the same price now, and it's hard to even find excellent ones. Let's look at this. It focuses down to 0.4 meters and less than 1.5 feet. It goes from 35 millimeters, 28 and 24 are marked. It has, wow, half f-stops. Yep. Even between f16 and f22. Cool. Now, this is on a Photodiox Pro FD Sony E mount, right? And we all know about FD mounts. If I want to take it off, I put it on install. Then you push this button and it comes off, right? So let's do it again. You line up all this business here and just twist it. Now, you gotta go like this to make the aperture stop down. Can we see? Let's see. Let's see what we could see. It looks to me like it got, yeah, it goes down to f22. So it looks like the aperture works on this one. Now I actually have the same company, Photodiox Pro FD to EOS M. I have on the EOS M mirrorless camera. It will not focus to infinity. Now, good thing I did some tests before I went out on my photo shoot, because I'd be pissed. And then I said, what's wrong with this lens? I don't remember doing this. So I put it back on a Sony E mount camera. This is the Alpha or A6000. And yeah, this is like infinities right there. So focus this is a little bit in from infinity, but that's better than not being able to get to infinity. So I use this adapter in this camera instead. Now, it just so happens that on the EOS M50 Mark II, I have the Canon 35 to 70, 3.5 to 4.5, and that focuses to infinity, and the aperture works perfectly. So I don't know what to think. I have no idea what to think. But be that as it may, I use this camera for the photo shoot, and this lens. Oh, that's a big mother piece of glass, huh? I think they still use this formulation. They stuck it in a EOS plastic body with autofocus and everything else. You know, when you get a good design, they stick with it. This is a really nice lens. It better be. It's an L lens, right? And you're going to see in some of the slideshows where I actually shot like at 5.6 or 3.5, and you can see the background, the count leaves on the trees on some of the pictures. So it's a really fine lens. It does have some flare. I mean, I was shooting in some bright lights at a Carnival, and it had spotlights and you know, the rides, and it did suffer some flare, but not much. And that's the deal. I went to the Elks Club Carnival over the weekend. That's like the 24th and 25th, and I got there just before sunset, and it was like I was there from sunset, twilight, until it got dark, and then they scooted. And I was shooting at ISO 200, 400, 800, 1600, and 2000. And I was stopping down a lot too, like 8, you know, because I wanted to get a slow shutter speed. And the reason I wanted a slow shutter speed was I wanted to capture motion blur, intentional motion blur of these rides, so I could do a study of artistic, artsy-fartsy stuff. And I was pretty pleased with the way it came out. Another reason was I want to make people anonymous in these photos. Say you're on a ride and I've got the shutter set at 1/8 of a second, and this ride is spinning around. Well, guess what? You're going to be blurred out and then unrecognizable. Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons I did it. I'm pretty sneaky. When I'm in a crowd, I like hang out, and at that one moment where everyone's back is turned, then I take a picture. I mean, if you take a picture of the back of a person, then it's hard to identify them. And as long as you don't zoom up on a person and a part of a crowd, then it's okay to take their picture, you know. And that's what I try and do. And of course, on the rides, and then you can see it in the video too. I appended a bunch of videos, short videos, like 20 seconds or 30 seconds. And what it was is I left the shutter speed at 1/8 of a second. And I shot a video. And you could see, like, it's a series of, like, these, it doesn't, sort of looks like stop motion. But then, even though you can see the people, you know, whizzing by, if you were to stop and look at one frame, it's 1/8 of a second they're blurred. So I did it to keep people anonymous, and this way they could keep their privacy, you know. And that was what it's all about. I wanted to branch out into, you know, something more public and had some action rather than like, I know this is the summer of car shows. I figured, you know, it's just down the street. I don't know, it's half a mile ride. And it was free to get in. And I thought there would be a Ferris wheel there because I would go on a Ferris wheel, but they didn't have one. I didn't feel like going on a merry-go-round. That's for old folks. Even though I'm a boomer, I would much rather go on a Ferris wheel because things look different from higher up. So, well, maybe I'll go to some other carnival or fair where they got a Ferris wheel. And it's a fine lens, all metal construction except for these two rubber bands on focusing and the zoom. Oh, the ever so slightest backlash. You know, it's like, it's hard to make it go click, click. It's only a very little backlash. So I'm beginning to think all Canon lenses of that era had this backlash built into them. But this is so minor. And 24 to 35 on a crop sensor, this crop sensor, that's like 36 millimeters. And this is more like 52 millimeters, equivalent, right? So it was still wide, and it got to like a normal range here. And it stays constant aperture of 3.5, which means that they only have a bunch of markings here, you know, where you have to add or subtract this f-stop as you go through your range. So I thought that was pretty cool too. So I could recommend this lens, even though it's pricey. You gotta shop around, see if you can find a good example. I'm gonna use this lens a lot more now that I finally figured out how to use it. And of course, since I have a full frame mirrorless camera, I can always slap this on and use it on a full frame mirrorless camera also. So, and I got nothing but praise for the 6000, really nice camera. So let's jump right into the slideshow and you can look at the movie samples I took. I wanted to take a break from car shows because this is my 2024 summer of car shows. I went to an Elks Club Carnival, not too far away from where I live. And I got there just as the sun was setting. And so I shot into the night and then I scooted. It was a small carnival, but it had enough rides to make my trip worthy. It had this thing called a zipper and the tornado. They were pretty cool. And I got the results I wanted. And you could see by looking at the background, this is a very sharp lens, even wide open or almost wide open for an old lens. And the merry-go-round, they were running the merry-go-round, they only had 2 people on it. Well, maybe I got there a little early and people didn't want to go on because I was there taking movies, but I tried to be discreet. I tried to preserve people's anonymity, you know, the fact that you don't have to know who they are. And I was there mostly for the machines and the noise and, you know, the hustle and bustle of a street fair or a lot fair, or not a parking lot, but like a grassy lot fair. And I was pleased. I was going to buy some, I was going to go on the Ferris wheel. They didn't have a Ferris wheel. So I said, oh, that leaves me out. You know, I thought for sure they would have a Ferris wheel. And I would have wanted a Ferris wheel because things always look different higher up. And it moves pretty slow, and I'm an old fart, and I move pretty slow. Look at the detail in this. I mean, it captured the detail of the nuts and bolts really good. It's a really good lens. And it's even on a crop sensor, it's wide. Because 24 millimeters is like a So half of that is what? Half of 24 is 12, so that's like a 36. And then the 35, half of 35 is 17. That'd be like a 52. So it would be like a sort of a wide-angle lens to a normal lens on a mirrorless crop sensor. So as it got dark, I started shutting the ISO down, and I started using longer exposure speeds. And I stopped down a little bit extra too. And I think it did a really good job because it's all handheld. There's no vibration reduction in this at all. And it's just, you know, it's scenes of people at a carnival, and everyone's having a good time. And, well, I don't know. I guess I was lucky there's no shootings there or any sort of unpleasant trees that you hear about in the news today. But then I was pretty much off the beaten path, too. Here's some lady at the, you know, looks like she really enjoys her job, handing out refreshments to people, which is good, I suppose. And they've been having this there for as long as I can remember. They have a car show there, but I don't know if they had it this year or not. Maybe I missed it. And as the night got longer and I was experimenting more with longer exposures and different parameters, because I wanted to see what it would do. I want to be artsy-fartsy. You know, I wanted to, like this one, I like this picture. It looks weird. It signifies motion and chaos and everything. I have some videos appended to the end of this, and they're the same thing. I use the same ISO and the same shutter speed, and some of them are going to have a stop motion effect to it. So yeah, I wish it was a bigger carnival and it had more stuff to walk around. But then the bigger they are, sometimes just the more dangerous they are. Where this is all nice and cozy, and everyone was happy, and all I wanted to do was take pictures. And that was it. So you may want to turn your video down a little bit now.